Energy is your barometer to understand if you're on the right path or if you're actually moving away from your purpose. If you've ever felt unmotivated, burned out, or really lost, this video is for you. I'm going to break down how you know that you are on the right path, that you're connecting to your soul's purpose, and how you can utilize the understanding of energetics to uplift and uplevel your life. Let's dig deep. Welcome to the Human Design Portal, your safe space to decondition, to align to the right people, opportunities, and chances into your life. If you're new here, my name is Maika Gabriela, and I'm a human design reader, a deconditioning expert, and the founder of the transformational human design certification. And you can now join our new free member area called the Upraising Club, where you will receive a bunch of juicy, delicious, informative human design goodies. Click the link in the caption below to get in, join us. Today I'm going to share with you some incredible, valuable information that I don't think you've heard anybody else. And this is something that I discovered about 6-9 months ago, and I've been integrating to actually see that's something that I want to share with all of you. And what I want to share with you today is something that I call energetic peaks. And energetic peaks are how each energy type knows that they're actually according to their energetic authenticity. And therefore, it can guide you and help you understand how to operate correctly to be in a position of leadership, to gain success and move through life in an aligned manner. This video is going to break down how energy can guide you and is actually a unique language that helps you understand yourself better, helps you really reassess if you've gotten on the wrong track, and is really a whole new lens through which to look through life. Nowadays, you can learn absolutely everything from the internet. You can watch a YouTube video and learn all of the things. You can use ChatGPT, AI, but there's one thing that we're just starting to grasp the understanding of, and that is energetics. So here's the thing. The reason that you're unmotivated to go to work in the morning, the reason that you're feeling burned out, the reason that you're lying flat on your couch and you can't move up, the reason you're a couch potato and binge watching 7 hours of your favorite TV show is not because you're lazy. It's not because you're not built like others. It's not because you are against creating things in your life and you don't have any creativity, or you don't have any desires, or you don't have any passion. That is not real. That is not the truth. We are all born with an innate desire to create, to expand. The universe is always expanding, so it makes sense that our soul, our desire, and our path is of expansion. And so the reason that you lack energy is because the universe is pulling away the energy from you physically so that you stop walking onto the direction that is pulling you away from your purpose, so that you can reassess and find ways to connect to that life force, to that chi, to be able to move towards the direction of your life and soul's purpose. To understand your energy peaks, I'm going to walk through the 5 energy types so that we can look at your energetic peak. And so I'm going to explain that the energetic peak feels like this incredible, strong desire to move, desire to create. It is force. It is pleasure. It is excitement. It's a vibration in your body. It's something that you might have disconnected because you might have made to feel guilty growing up with this feeling, this emotion. You might have been shamed around this emotion. It is often that our caretakers in our environment doesn't feel comfortable around this powerful force. And so I want you to reconnect to it, and I want you to give yourself permission to really tune into your physical body to understand how that energetic peak shows up in your life and what you have to move around in your life so that you can actually build in that energetic peak. So the first thing I'm going to utilize is the Manifestor. The Manifestor's biggest energy peak is the vision. The Manifestor will thrive when they have the idea, when they're like, this is what I'm going to create for the world. This is my big vision. And they start informing everybody, and they start having this strong creative urge that is wanting them to integrate all of their thoughts, their emotions into this idea that they have. Once the idea is out there, once people have heard what the Manifestor is informing, their energy starts dwindling down, because the Manifestor is not here to put things into action. The manifestor is not here to build, to construct, and to do. That's what generators and manifesting generators are for. The manifestor is here to put some fire under our butts, to kick us out into the world and be like, help me put the vision into something tangible. And so you will notice, if you are an aligned manifestor, that your highest creative, your highest energy peak of excitement, of desire, of vision, of intention, of wanting to conquer the world is when you have that big vision and that creative urge to purge that vision. That is the manifestor's energetic peak. Then I'm going to talk about the generators and manifesting generators' energy peak. And this is so fascinating because you will see this happening. You will sense it. You will feel it. Generators and manifesting generators are here to create. They're here to construct. They're here to build. And so they don't really care that much about the vision. They're interested in building a vision, creating a vision. Like if they're a photographer, they will be excited about, creating the mood board. But what generators and manifesting generators, where they will feel the strongest energy urge in their body, especially in the sacral, is when they're actually doing the thing. They need to be doing the thing. They need to be painting. They need to be, in the admin of the business. They need to be in the, drawing of the design. They need to be in the process of photographing. When they are in their creative process, when they're actually doing things with their hands, that's when they will be most excited. They don't really care that much about the result. The result is not what they get the highest energy from. It is actually in the meditative exercise of doing. And so what's so interesting about generator manifesting generators is that, I remember I had this client and she came to me and she's like, I have a problem. And I'm like, oh, tell me, what is that? She's like, I'm too successful. I'm like, well, I wish all of my clients would have that kind of a problem. And so it was interesting because she is a graphic designer. She was working for a big company. She wanted to do her own thing and she was becoming successful with her own kind of designs. And so she was like, you know what? I'm going to leave this big company. I'm going to do my own thing. But she was married to a manifestor who has a different energetic imprint than the generator. And the manifestor was like, we're building this thing. And then they were so successful that she wasn't able to do all of the designs. So she hired a team of designers and then she was behind the big desk and then she wasn't designing anymore. She was managing the people that were designing her designs, and she was deeply frustrated because she had removed herself from the thing that gives her energy. She had removed herself from the thing that actually excites her, which is the actual designing of things. So she went back to that. No matter where you are in your business, no matter how other people are telling you have to scale or it's the only way to, always remember, as a manifesting generator and a generator, your energetic peak, where you will have the most bestest fulfilling life experience, is when you actually do the thing you love doing. You can never remove yourself too far away, because this is what happens. We start a business, it gets successful, and then we kind of remove ourselves from the everyday tasks because it feels like somebody else should do them. No, you continue doing the things you love and have somebody else do the admin, have somebody else do the overview, have somebody else do whatever it is you think you have to do, but you don't have to do. So always maintain yourself in a position where you have that creative output, where you can connect to what excites you. Don't let anybody dictate what role you're meant to have within your niche, your business, your industry, or whatever it is that you're doing and that you're excited about doing. For the projector, the energy peak, I think, is one of the most interesting, and maybe I'm just saying that because I'm biased, because it's the way that I feel my energy peak. I think it's interesting because in the context of society and in the context of how we view success, it is very different from how the majority view success or experience success, which are generators and manifesting generators. So for projectors, the highest energy peak is not the vision, it's not the doing, it's the feedback, it's seeing the impact, it's hearing the recognition from the person you've shared with, the wisdom you have applied, the guidance you have created for the person in front of you. And I think that this is so interesting because for the projector, their highest energy peak is actually in the result. And this can be really daunting, especially because you have to wait for the invitation and because it takes a certain time to see result. A lot of projectors will give up ahead of time because they haven't built the patience to, wait for the recognition to happen. They will do like free stories on Instagram and then they're like, oh, nobody wants to hear what I have to say, bye. Projectors are also the ones that want to get a raise in their job and in their pay the quickest because they see what they're worthy of and they don't want to wait for the recognition. They're like, I'm recognizing myself, I'm great. Why does nobody see all the things that I'm able to do? I should get paid better. I should have a raise. I should be put in a better position at work. So for projectors, patience is so important because you often won't see the result until a certain point. And that can leave the projector feeling unrecognized, bitter, not understanding why other people are having more success than them, when really it might be that it's just like one more no and then you get a yes. And so one of the things that I really love applying to this is like, imagine it would take you 75 more no's to get one yes. You'd be so quick to get those no's out of your way. You'd be like, okay, where can I get a no? Another post, another post, another post, another whatever it is that you're doing with your life, okay? So please take into account that as a projector, you will feel the bestest by the result of what you're doing, by the feedback of what you're doing. And this is so interesting because as a projector, your signature is success, meaning that it is so important to create success for others, and that's the only way you're creating success for yourself. And this makes so much sense. And so it can be hard for a projector to continuously work on something if they're not sticking around long enough to see the result. So if you're a projector and you're feeling drained and you feel like you don't have energy and you feel like you're not being recognized and you don't know what your niche is, really focus on learning the things that you're passionate about. Focus on learning to communicate what it is that you know, and then have patience to stick around to see the results you're creating. Never give up before you're able to see the results of what you're putting out there. And last but not least, we have the reflector. And I feel like for the reflector, understanding the energy peak is like the hardest one that I had to think about and assess. And I really believe that the energetic peak within the reflector is in the experiencing of self. It is in the mirroring. It is in the really nailing the person that they have in front. It is in the most present moment. It is in the sensibility. It is in the feeling. It is in the sensing of what's happening. Because the reflector is so open, there's nothing to hold on to. It is not about creating the vision. It is not about doing the thing. It is not about seeing the result. It is about sensing and feeling the truth in the now. It is when the assessing of the environment happens. It is when the deep understanding of the soul that you have in front of you is transmuted into your being. It is when you are mirroring, when you are reflecting. You as a reflector are in your highest energetic peak. And every time you try to move away from that, every time you feel like that's not, there's no security, there's no grounding energy because it makes you feel like you're losing yourself and you're trying to be very rigid and you're trying to hold on to things too much, that is when you are losing the capacity to connect to the present moment and to your personal energetic peak. I'm so curious to hear if you've experienced these energetic peaks, how they show up in your life, and if you're currently struggling with burnout or lack of purpose. If so, or if you have any more questions around this topic, please leave your comments below so that I can answer you. I love having this rapport with you. Thank you so much for watching. If this video has served you, please like it, subscribe to the channel, send it to anybody who would use this information. And as always, remember, I don't care what anybody says, I love you.